Hey friends, what's up? How's it going? It's so beautiful outside, 73 degrees, not a cloud in the sky. This is awesome. So today I'm doing something new. I've been kind of planning this for a long time and I just never really got around to doing it. And so I'm going to do kind of a like volume by volume moto vlog about tips for riding and tricks and safety and all that stuff. Now, of course, this is for everyone to view, but mostly going to target, new riders or people that are new to motorcycles. And also, I want to give a chance to my friends here and my friends on YouTube that watch this channel that are much more experienced than I am, to kind of, throw in your 2 cents too. Let me know what your tips are for riding and things that you've learned over the years. Anyways, there's people that know a lot more than I do, and I'm by no means an expert. I just want to pass off information and share, and that was one of the major reasons I started this channel, was to share. One of my neighbors just bought a motorcycle. He saw me riding my motorcycle through the neighborhood one day, and we got to chatting, and he said he wanted to buy one, and it took many months. He was going back and forth. He finally bought one, but he didn't really realize how much gear cost. So that's kind of a first tip is make sure you get gear to protect yourself, obviously. Helmet, jacket, pants, boots, gloves, that's the full package. It's not cheap. Even if you go on a cheap and buy stuff on like Amazon or wherever you want to buy it. I mean, a jacket, a decent one, is going to cost you a couple $100 or $150, and that's very basic. Pants are going to cost you about $100 if they're, if they've got the Kevlar and they've got the padding. Helmet, that's the thing. I just wouldn't cheap out on that. And that can range anywhere from a few $100s up to $700 for a showy helmet. And gloves, you can get those for $20 on eBay or Amazon, or you can get really nice ones or name brand ones from BMW or from some name brand company for $150 for gloves. Boots, nice boots. The ones I have, the Climb, those were $300, but they're got the ankle pucks in them. They've got full protection. They've got the BOA system for tightening up your boots. So that's just plan on that. Plan on whatever your motorcycle costs, plus insurance for the motorcycle for the year. My bike costs about $600 for the year. And then, about $1,000 on the low end for gear. Second one is your MSF course, which is your motorcycle safety course, which a lot of states require you to do to get your license. And it's a good, again, I'll bring up my neighbor. I'm not going to name the guy, but it's a good, the ones that have their own motorcycles, I would do that. If you don't have a motorcycle yet, try to find an MSF course that actually provides the motorcycles. And so that's what he did. So he was able to take the test, learn, drop the bike a couple times or whatever to get some confidence up and learn how motorcycles operate, and to make sure this was really for him. If he just felt like, no, I don't want to ride motorcycles, I think this is not something I really want to get involved in, you just spent the money in an MSF course and walk away. But most people get bit by the bug, and it becomes a lifelong endeavor and hobby. So definitely take your MSF course. It'll teach you all about the motorcycle, how to ride it, how to take care of it to some degree, what kind of motorcycle may be right for you. So for example, the MSF course I took, they had cruisers. So they had these Yamaha V-Stars. I think they were 125cc or 250cc, something like that, which is more of a cruiser configuration where you've got a little bit forward controls, kind of mid-range, and then you get the handlebars swept back to you, so you're sitting in a very relaxed, kind of laid-back position. And then they also had Kawasaki's. I can't remember what they were. I'll put it up on the screen here. That were more about like kind of like naked sport bike, but they were very little. They were like small tires and everything like that. But it puts you in a more of a sporty kind of position. And we got to ride both of them throughout the course, and you can feel like which one suits you better, which one's easier for you to handle or control. And then number 3, which kind of is part of number 1, is getting the right helmet. Make sure someone fits you for the helmet, someone that knows what they're doing, because helmets, the first helmet I bought was too big for me, and I tried it on. I said, "Ooh, this feels comfortable," and I bought it, and it was almost $700. It was $500, almost $600, something like that. Helmets should be tight. They should be a little bit uncomfortable when you put them on. They should squeeze your cheeks. There shouldn't be any real movement once the helmet's on. If you shake your head back and forth, the helmet should stay put. If you put your index finger and middle finger, slip it in front of your forehead in between the helmet. If you can put your fingers in there, like, no problem. The helmet's too big. But, just make sure whoever you buy it from knows what they're doing and measures you up right and gets the right helmet for you. That's very important, because you don't want a $500 mistake or $700 mistake. Number 4 goes back again to the helmet, and you can tell already that I think gear is very important. If you choose to go with a open-faced helmet, make sure you at least wear glasses that are safety rated. I was riding once. I wear glasses when I ride because I can't see. I was riding my bike one time with my visor open like this because it was hot, and I was going along at full pace, and a cicada bug, I don't know if you know what those are, they're big huge bugs that make all that noise in the hot humid weather, came flying out of a tree, and they're hard-shelled. They're like hard-shelled little combat tanks. Hit me right in the glasses and broke my glasses right down the center, and it actually physically made my head bob back. So if I wasn't wearing glasses, I would have definitely got some serious eye injury. So make sure you wear something if you're going to go, open-faced or no helmet. This could be number 5. I'm riding into the setting sun, and if you can, try to plan your trips to not do that, because when you're riding into the setting sun, even when you have, I have transition lenses in my glasses, and I have this sun shield here. The sun is still strong, and it blocks out a lot of your peripheral view when you're looking straight ahead into it, and it's hard to see things on the side of the road. Now the other thing about the sun is now the setting sun is behind me, but it's set it to the point where it's supposed to go down in about maybe 15 minutes or so. Now it's binging right in my side mirrors. I don't know if you can see that reflecting in my eyes. So that makes your side mirrors kind of useless, because if you look into them, you're going to get blinded. So now you're kind of riding with very little to no ability to see what's behind you. The other thing is stopping. Obviously, you've got to hold the motorcycle up because it's going to fall over if you don't. So a lot of my friends, and myself included, when we stop the motorcycle, we use the rear brake, which is the right foot. And so when I come to a stoplight, my right foot stays on the peg and my left foot goes down and holds the bike up. And the bike is in gear all the time. On windy days or uneven pavement, put both feet down. And if you feel more comfortable putting both feet down, regardless if there's wind or not, by all means do it. You don't have to stop with the right foot on the peg. I'm not sure, but I've heard that part of the skill test in some other countries in Europe is you're required to keep your right foot on the peg and use the rear brake to come to a complete stop instead of using the front brake. And the reason for that is you have a lot more control when you use the rear brake when you're going at slow speeds. If you're going at slow speeds and you grab too much front brake and your tire is not straight, it could easily cause the bike to fall down. And the weight shift of the bike kind of nose diving down when you grab the front brake will a lot of times cause the bike to fall down. And so if you use the rear brake, that's not going to happen. So that's number 6, keeping your feet up. When you take off from a light or a stop sign or your house or whatever, and you take off, you pick your feet up and put both feet on the pegs immediately. Don't let your legs dangle and kind of slowly pull them up, because the risk of, especially if you're new, the risk of catching your foot on some part of the pavement or something to kick your leg back or cause you to lose balance, again, could cause you to fall. So as soon as the bike starts rolling, put your feet up, or what they say, landing gear. Or if you're riding slowly through a street looking for a parking space, or if you're in traffic going slow, keep your feet on the pegs as long as you're moving. But again, do what makes you feel comfortable. If you feel comfortable, because you're going slow and you feel like you might fall over and you need to put your landing gear out, by all means do it safely. Number 7, when you park your bike, park it in first gear. Make sure it's in gear all the time when you park it. Don't park it and leave it in neutral. Some people get in a bad habit of doing that. And if a couple things. One, if you've parked on an uneven surface, like it's heading downhill or uphill or something like that, and it's in neutral, the bike could roll forward a little bit and topple off the kickstand. Also, if somebody jumps on your bike or pushes your bike or hits it or something, it's gonna roll and it'll fall over. So always make sure you've got first gear before you turn the bike off and you parked it. Ooh, look at this Porsche. Wow, cool. Now here's a big one, and this is one that really, this is number 8. This is the one that really caused me a lot of anxiety, is when I got comfortable riding away from my neighborhood, and when I was younger and I got into biking, and someone would say, okay, meet me at this place, we'll go, blah, blah, blah. And I got to the place and the parking lot was on a hill going up or down, or there was gravel. Parking a bike strategically was always a source of anxiety for me, because you really got to plan that out. Once you pull into a parking lot, if it's completely flat, you can kind of park however you want, because the bike's on a flat level ground. You can move the bike backwards, you can move the bike forward, but typically you back a bike in so that when you get on the bike you can just pull away. Now if it's flat, there's not a whole lot of strategy. Just try to find a spot and back your bike in. If you feel more comfortable just pulling straight in than backing the bike out, go ahead and do that too. But the strategy part comes in when you go into a parking lot and you're on a hill and the parking lot's not flat. It's facing uphill or it's facing downhill. Obviously motorcycles are heavy, and if you've parked the nose of your motorcycle facing downhill and then you go to leave, you're gonna have a heck of a time getting out of there, because you've got, in my case, I've got a 534 pound bike, sport bike between 400 and 500, and then cruisers like a Harley or something, they're going to be anywhere from 7 to 900 pounds with all, got bags and all that stuff on it. And some of the bigger bikes nowadays come with a reverse assist. But yeah, that's going into a parking lot is keeping in mind, strategically, how am I going to park the bike. So now let's say I wanted this spot right here on the edge, on the end here. It's kind of facing downwards a little bit. So what I would do for this one, I wouldn't pull straight in. Because if I pull straight in, when I go to leave, I'm going to have like an uphill battle trying to back the bike out of that spot. So in this case, I just roll the bike into the spot. You let gravity help you and just roll into the spot like this. So that was just like no effort whatsoever. So now I'm ready to take off when I'm done. Get on, start the bike up, and get out of here. you know, when you're dealing with a 500-600 pound bike, even a little bit of an incline is a lot if you're trying to back the bike uphill out just using your toes. And if you hit any sand or gravel with your shoe, your foot's going to slip and you'll probably go down. So that's why it's very important to choose your spaces where you park properly. So like this one in front of me here, this is kind of going uphill. Not a lot, but just enough. So I would just pull straight into this one and park like this. Because now when I'm ready to leave, I can get on the bike, put it in gear. Now, those of you out there watching this, maybe we can comment on this one. You can put your bike in neutral and roll back and use the brake to slow you down. But I typically keep the clutch in, I keep it in first gear and I roll back. Just in my mind, if I need power with the bike for whatever reason. So this did happen to me one time. I was backing out of a space like this. And I was going back, letting gravity help me. And a car from, say, like over here came whizzing this way and didn't see me. So what I did is I oh crap, and I just first geared it, boom, and I went right back into the spot. And I didn't get hit. So I know some people just put it in neutral and kind of roll back, but I don't know, I just think it's best to always have the bike in gear. So again, this is not a huge incline, but enough that all I need to do is kick off with my feet just a tad and see the bike starts rolling. If your legs are struggling to push the bike at all, that means you're parking the wrong way, or you're trying to get out the wrong way. And then like these spaces here, they're all open. You could just swing in like this and just cut straight and then have your kind of back end facing inward and ready to go. So, you know, just come to a parking lot and practice parking. And parking lots are also good for practicing low speed maneuvers, like doing, you know, not in this parking lot, but one that has less cars and is more open. You know, doing figure eights, doing donuts. Okay, number 9. This is just kind of safety as well as aesthetics. Your pants, your riding pants, make sure you get them a little bit longer than you normally do, because when you get on the motorcycle, you've got to spread your legs, and you know, you're riding a horse basically, so it takes up more material, and what'll happen is your pant legs will ride up and your boots will be sticking out and you'll be like high water Harry, and nobody wants to do that. And then the safety part of it is, you know, if your pants ride up too high and you do fall and you've got some exposed skin there on the side of your calf, you know, you could end up with some road rash there. Yeah, there goes a Tesla truck. So another one is, and you'll learn this in MSF Course, is a thing they call T-CLOCS. I guess, you know, for people that have been riding, I'm sure you know what that is, but it's kind of the acronym they use for checking your bike over before each ride to make sure the bike is mechanically safe and everything is working. I don't go through the whole T-CLOCS thing, to be honest. The T is for tires, and I definitely check that. So I check my tire pressure every ride before I go out, make sure the tires are pumped up. The rest of those acronyms is like the lights, making sure all your lights work, making sure your instruments and gauges work, make sure that your oil is good. So the things that I check on religiously is I check the tires every time, and like every other time I'll look down. I have a spyglass underneath my bike for the oil, so like I don't have a dipstick to pull out or anything like that. I can just look in the spyglass and I can see that if I have enough oil or not. And I think, in my opinion anyways, the tire pressure and oil, those are super important. And we'll stop at 11. Today you got an extra one. I'm trying to do these in groups of 10. You want to be seen all the time when you're riding. That's very important. And this tip, what I'm talking about, is just the rear brake. And so when you're coming to a stop, and say you have a red light in front of you or a stop sign and you're coming to a stop, you look behind you, you see, there's cars behind you. I use the engine to brake. So when I see a red light up ahead, I don't squeeze on the brakes really too much. I just kind of downshift, let the engine slow the bike down to the point where I can you know, just use the rear brake to stop, or, you know, maybe engage the front brake a little bit if I'm going a little too fast. But I'm a big believer in engine braking, and you're letting the engine slow you down. And cars don't know that. So as you're downshifting, your bike is slowing down, but there's no, you know, brake light engaging. I tap my rear brake just to let the people know, hey, look at me, I'm stopping. And there's a little red flashing light in front of them. And then when I'm sitting at the light, if there's no one behind me when I came to the light, and now cars are coming up behind me, I start tapping the brake again. And I watch them in the rearview mirror to make sure they're going to stop, because a lot of accidents are cars that rear end motorcycles because they don't see them, or they're not paying attention, or they're, you know, on their cell phone or whatever, and then they don't see that little silhouette that's behind that car, and they, you know, crash into you. And you can go online on YouTube and you can see all kinds of bikers getting rear-ended. So those are 11 tips, again, in no particular order. In terms of importance, I just kind of laid them out, and they're just going to keep growing. This will be volume 1. There's 11 little tips in there. So anybody that watches this, please throw in your 2 cents. I'll, if I don't have it on my list already, I'll include it, and I'll put next to it, you know, who sent that in. I'll give you a shout out for that. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for joining me. Please do subscribe, thumbs up and all that good stuff. Hit the little bell, comment. Until next time, take care. Later.